So all this business about mistletoe, pagan. Christmas trees, pagan. Giving out gifts, pagan. Every bit of it is pagan. Every single bit of it is pagan. We've Christianized it all.
Yeah, so y'all already know what I'm about to get into, right? So welcome back, family. It's your boy Born a Levi, and you're now tuned into the Born a Levi experience. This is gonna be a great show, I guarantee you, right? I hope everybody is doing well, you know what I'm saying? What's today's date? Today is the 22nd. So we know in 3 days, a lot of people is about to start opening gifts and start celebrating what we know as Christmas. But I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't talk about Christmas, right? So we're gonna talk about it, family. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna do too much talking. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna present the facts, and it's not what I'm saying. I'm gonna read certain books. I'm also gonna read scripture, and I'm gonna let them tell you, right? The information that I'm bringing forth is for educational purposes only, and you guys are gonna see, upon the research that I've done, I've came to a conclusion that what Pat Robertson said, Christmas is pagan. But nonetheless, I'm just gonna bring forth the information, right? I'm just the messenger, right? And I gotta be able to bring forth the message, whether you guys hear it or forbear it. And look, I already understand. I know that some of you guys might turn your ears off to what you're gonna hear, but nonetheless, you can never say that you never heard it. And yeah, it's gonna spoil your festivities, but listen, it comes a point in time in everybody's life where we gotta make decisions. You gotta choose between right and wrong. And if you can't choose between right and wrong, let that be on your conscience. So we heard Pat Robertson say something, right? He said the word pagan, right? Pagan. I'm going to read the definition for you. But before I read the definition, guys, please, if you haven't done so before and you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button. Please hit it. Hit the bell and hit the like for notifications. Man, please help me grow this page, and let's get right into it, right? So let's get into it. So he mentioned the word pagan. So a lot of people don't even know what the word pagan actually means, right? He said the origin of what everybody know as Christmas is pagan. Growing up, I used to celebrate Christmas, right? But Christmas for me wasn't like Christmas for everybody else. I used to watch these movies as a little kid and see the Christmas that these people used to have, a big old tree with a chimney and stockings hanging, right? And plenty of toys, right? Under the tree. And, you used to write a Christmas list and get the gifts that you wanted. I've never got anything that I wanted for Christmas. So technically, I'd never really celebrated Christmas. I really didn't understand Christmas. I didn't like Christmas because I've never got what I wanted for Christmas. You freaking giving me socks or a sweater or you know what I mean? Or a new jacket. I want toys, man. So, Christmas wasn't enjoyable for me. So it wasn't hard for me to give up Christmas when I found out that Christmas was pagan. So to the definition of what pagan actually means, right? Pagan, and I'm using a dictionary, a Webster's dictionary from 1828. I'm using an older translation because anything newer, you're going to find that it's been watered down and, words has been taken out, to ease the mind of the simple. But listen, I'm going to read it for you. So this is the definition of the word pagan, right? What is a pagan, you may ask? It clearly says a pagan is a heathen, a Gentile. The word Gentile means not of Hebrew stock or not from the tribes of Israel, right? It says a heathen, a Gentile, an idolater. What is an idolater? Someone who takes man-made objects and turned them into gods and worship that man-made figure as a god. That's what idolatry means. That's an idolater. One who worships false gods, right? So now that you know what a pagan is, let's go right into what Christmas is all about, right? Like your man Pat Robertson just said, everything about Christmas is pagan, right? And it's sad because people genuinely just want to give gifts to each other and just want to have a good time with their families. But what if your energy is being tied to a satanic ritual? And in the realm of Satanism, it doesn't matter if you do it willingly or not. Your energy goes to that God. So look, and I'm gonna break it down like this too. Don't think none of these holidays is being worshipped for no reason. There's a spiritual purpose and a spiritual blessing that comes to those on the left-hand side who worship those days. So it's about energy, it's about frequencies, it's about all of these things that these spirits they cling to. But let's go back to that video. You know, I know I kind of started it really abrupt, but I want to go to what he was saying. And you guys make the decision. And look, I'm not going to say anything. Make the decision. Listen to what he's saying. Look, I'm going to play this video.
All right.
Okay, this is David, who says, we have friends who do not celebrate Christmas because they say December 25th is really a pagan holiday. While I agree that Jesus may not have been born on December 25th, he certainly was born as described in the Bible. How do I respond to them?
Well, in a sense, tell them they're right. You see, the winter solstice a couple of days later was the shortest day of the year, and the pagans had something called Saturnalia. And it was a time of lawlessness because all the laws were suspended. And people, a bunch of singers actually wandered the streets naked singing. And then they had orgies, sexual orgies. It was a mass thing. Well, when the Catholic Church came along in Italy, the Romans and others didn't want to give up their holidays. So they said, okay, we'll Christianize it. And so they said, okay, we'll say the birth of Jesus was the 25th of December. And then there was a monk who began to add it up. You see, if you read in Luke, it says there's a census taken when Quirinius was governor and so forth and so on. And they could take those leaders and figure the exact time dating from the foundation of Rome. And that's when the dates were established. And so they get pretty close to the date. But to say it's the 25th, shepherds were out abiding in the field. It gets a little cold at night. I mean, were they out there in the middle of winter? You know, I don't know. I've been out there on the shepherd's field on Christmas Eve. It's very nice. But it's cold. And nevertheless, I mean, what was going on? So all this business about mistletoe, pagan. Christmas trees, pagan. Giving out gifts, pagan. Every bit of it is pagan. Every single bit of it is pagan. We've Christianized it all.
So your man just said every bit of Christmas is pagan, and they have Christianized it all. So the origin of Christmas itself, according to what Pat Robertson just said, is that it's pagan. And we know from the definition of pagan, it means the worship of a false god or gods. So now the Romans, they didn't want to. So basically what he was saying is that the Romans didn't want to give up Christmas. They didn't want to give it up. So they found a way to incorporate paganism within Christianity. And he said around the 4th century. So between the 4th to 1st century, right? What was going on with the early Christians, right? Pre-Constantine Christians. So basically Christians who kept the Sabbath, Christians who kept the feast days written of in Leviticus 23, right? Those Christians, not the Christians that we see today worshiping on Sunday, right? Keeping Christmas and all these holidays of the world. So what Constantine actually did. He seen what, and Constantine was a pagan. So what he seen going on was that he seen that a lot of Christians was converting the pagans into Christianity. So what he did a couple of things. He banned the worship of the Sabbath. This is why Christians today worship on Sunday, because he was banning the worship of the Sabbath and switching it to the first day of the week of Sunday. And he was saying if anybody was found worshiping on the first day, on the seventh day of the week, which is the Sabbath, they were being put to death. So they were forced to keep the Sunday. And not only were they forced to keep the Sunday, he actually intermingled pagan practices within Christianity and masked it as Christianity. So this is the reason why a lot of Christians are doing a lot of pagan things, and they don't really understand because they fail to do the research. But that's why I'm here. I'm here to bring forth the information so that my Christian brothers and sisters could see that they've been duped. You know what I'm saying? We all been bought into a lie. Everybody, right? They say you wanna put information, you wanna hide information from somebody, put it in a book. So we're gonna go into a book, right? We're gonna go into some books, right? It's crazy. I'm going into a book called The Two Babylons by Alexander Hislop. Please, I can encourage you guys to get this, right? Get this book, right? And I'm gonna read the chapter concerning about Christmas and what's called Lady Day, right? So what Pat Robertson was saying is not by accident. That means he's done the research. He understands what is it that he's celebrating, right? But he's choosing to ignore the fact that it's a worship of a false god and saying we've changed it, we've Christianized it. Oh yeah? So you're Christ. So Christ told you to do that. All right, let's read. Right? It says, the festivals of Rome are innumerable. So I mean, they had a whole bunch of different festivals for whatever reason. But 5 of the most important may be singled out for elucidation. Christmas Day, Lady Day, Easter, and Christmas and Easter are two of the biggest Christian holidays, right? But the origin is found in Rome, which actually Rome was responsible for killing Christ. So it says Christmas Day, Lady Day, Easter, the Nativity of Saint John, I don't even know, and the Feast of Assumption. Each and all of these can be proved to be Babylonian. Alexander Hislop, a known historian, said that Christmas and Easter can be proven to be shown that is Babylonian in origin. And ancient Babylon was pagan, was satanic. It was against the God of the Bible. It says, how come that the festival was connected with the honor of the birth of Christ or Christmas? That's what it says. It says, how? Oh, let me go back. And first, as to the festival in the honor of Christ or Christmas, it says, how come the festival was connected with the 25th of December, right? There is not a word in the scriptures about the precise date of his birth. So we're getting somewhere. This historian was able to conclude that there is no precise date for Christ's birth. So if we were supposed to celebrate Christ's birth, why did they choose December 25th? Let's keep reading. It says, what is recorded there implies that at what time soever his birth took place, it could not have been on the 25th of December. At the time that the angels announced his birth to the shepherds of Bethlehem, they were feeding their flocks by night in the open fields. Now, no doubt, the climate of Palestine is not so severe as the climate of this country, but even there, though the heat of the day be considerable, the cold of the night from December to February is very piercing, and it was not the custom for the shepherds of Judea to watch their flocks in the open field, later than about the end of October. So if Christ was born on December 25th, there's no way he could have been born in a manger in an open field in a piercing cold of winter. And the shepherds could not have been in the fields during that time. So, he's giving some historical references, or I would say some geological accuracies concerning climate, right? I want to keep reading because there's a lot of good points that he made in this book, right? I'll jump down. And he also speaks about during the time period of Christmas, there was a lot of taxing going on. So we understand that that's like around the ingathering, like late fall, right? So Christ has to been born around late fall. But let's keep reading. It says that Christmas was originally a pagan festival. This is what they understood. Christmas is originally a pagan festival. It's beyond all doubt. The time of the year and the ceremonies with which it is still celebrated prove its origin. In Egypt, the son of Isis and the Egyptian title for the queen of heaven was born at this very time. So now we're seeing that this even predates ancient Babylon. It goes back to ancient Egypt, the worship of Isis, right? This is crazy. It says, about the time of the winter solstice, so around the winter solstice was celebrated the birth of an Egyptian god named Isis. So this is why they given you Christmas on December 25th, the winter solstice, the honor and the birth of Isis, or who we know, Semiramis, or the virgin child, who was born from Semiramis and Nimrod, right? But that's another topic, right? We'll keep reading. It says the very name by which Christmas is popularly known, among others, is actually called Yule Day. That's how it was actually known prior. Proves at once its pagan and Babylonian origin. Yule is the Chaldean name for an infant or little child. That's what the word Yule means. And as the 25th of December was called by our pagan Anglo-Saxon ancestors, well, not ours, but theirs, Yule Day or Child's Day, and the night that precedes it, Mother Night. So Christmas Eve and Christmas days is actually tied to the virgin birth of Semiramis and her son Nimrod, right? But let's keep going. There's so much history concerning this day. And I'm just reading from what I'm seeing here. I'm not giving you anything that I'm saying off the top of my head. So this is not my information. This is information that's can be publicly searched and be used for education. So I'm just bringing forth the information that I've received, right? So let's go to another video, matter of fact. I want to show you something else. This is a more recent one too. This was, all right, matter of fact, let me just play it. I want you guys to listen to this and take a look. And it's not by accident that they're coming out of the woodworks now and exposing the origin of Christmas. And we've been talking about this for years. We've been bringing forth this information for years, but our people didn't want to hear it. So now we got to let the slave masters do it now. We got to let them come out and tell y'all, because, we already exposing it. So why not give y'all the truth now? How ironic. They want to give us the truth at the end of this thing, right? But look, take a look at this.
80% of Americans celebrate Christmas in one way or another, according to the Pew Research Center. The holiday began in the 4th century when church officials chose to honor the birth of Jesus. But several customs we've come to associate with modern-day Christmas actually evolved from ancient pagan traditions celebrating the winter solstice. Historian Kenneth C. Davis is the best-selling author of the Don't Know Much About series, which we love. Welcome back to the table. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you. It's always a pleasure to be here.
So this is something I've always been fascinated by because the Bible never talks about the date of Christ's birth, yet we celebrate December 25th. Why?
Well, primarily because in ancient Rome, there was a feast called Saturnalia that celebrated the solstice. What is the solstice? It's the day that the sun starts coming back. The days start getting longer. And most of the traditions that we have that relate to Christmas relate to the solstice, which was celebrated in ancient Rome on December 25th. So when Christianity became the official religion, in a sense, in Rome, they were able to fix this date, which some scholars say may be earlier than that. There's a little discrepancy about it, but there's no question that the fact that it was celebrated in Rome as an important day with gift-giving, candle lighting, and singing and decorating houses really cemented Christmas as December 25th.
You always say you don't know much according to your books, but do you know why we have a Christmas tree as opposed to a bunch of hydrangeas, which I think are really pretty?
This is another
puffy and pretty.
This is another.
How about that, Ken?
This is another pagan tradition. So Christmas is really about bringing out your inner pagan. The Christmas tree really comes to.
Who knew we had an inner pagan?
Yes, yeah. Which of the wise men said that? I can't remember.
Well, it's like Halloween and a lot of other things we do. These all predate Christianity. But in the Norse world, Germany, the Scandinavian countries, where winter was really serious and the solstice was really an important idea, they celebrated the return of life by celebrating an evergreen tree. When Christianity came in, they started to use the evergreen tree, the pagan symbol, as a symbol of the tree of paradise. And they started to hang an apple on it. So little red balls on green trees.
Oh, that's
getting
the ornaments.
Picture here.
That's where the idea for ornaments
So
came
all
from.
of these things really celebrate the idea that light and life are coming back into the world, which is essentially what Christmas means to Christians across the world.
Right. And mistletoe?
Mistletoe, we can thank the Druids for that. The Druids believed that mistletoe was an all-powerful healing item. It hung from the sacred oak. In fact, if you met somebody in the forest, you gave them the sign of peace under the mistletoe. So people started to hang mistletoe above their doorways as a symbol of peace. This was such a powerful symbol of paganism that English churches actually banned the use of it. And in fact, the real war on Christmas in America begins with the Puritans in around 1659. They knew all of these things, the date, the traditions were pagan ideas. The Puritans banned Christmas for about 20 years in America before the celebration became just too popular.
Y'all heard that? Yo, this man named Kenneth C. Davis, right, who's a historian, right, and writes books and all of that. He said a lot of the practices that Christians follow predates Christianity. I didn't say it. This is what a historian is saying, a scholar is saying. He's telling you that your holidays that you celebrate, even the day that you worship on, predates Christianity. So that means if it predates Christianity, that means it has nothing to do with the man you call Christ or you call Jesus. It has nothing to do with him. I'm just saying what he's saying, right? He just said something that I didn't know. He said that Christmas was once banned in America for about 20 years by Druids. By the Puritans, excuse me. It was banned by the Puritans, right? They try to keep things pure, so so to speak. So for about 20 years, that joint was banned in America. And the whole mistletoe thing, and you kissing under the mistletoe, and that's a pagan symbol too. It was given to you by the Druids. Druids are witches and warlocks. The whole thing about this day that you guys are getting ready to celebrate is pagan. The whole thing. It has nothing to do with the Bible. It has nothing to do with Christ. So by process of elimination, we could eliminate Christmas from our list of festivities. And a lot of you guys will actually save a lot of money. A lot of y'all be going broke trying to keep up with Christmas. You ain't even pay your rent, but you got gifts under the tree. Right? But what if I was to show you another reference? A reference that's probably in your living room or in your bedroom. I'm talking about the Bible. What if I get a reference from the Bible that even tells you that the celebration of that day is pagan? It tells you in the Bible that, matter of fact. This is not my words. But I'm reading from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10. So it's actually written in the Bible not to do these customs, but you know, our people's not going to hear it. People's not going to hear it. People still going to do it because why? It's for the children. Okay. I got to make sure my baby have Christmas. But did God want your baby to have Christmas? Did Christ tell you to celebrate my birthday? I can't find a reference in the Bible to actually do that. But look, I'm going to go here. Jeremiah 10:1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. And we just read the definition for the word pagan. A pagan is a heathen. The Most High said, learn not the way of the pagans, of the heathen. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. What does the word vain mean? Vanity is nothing. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. So now we're seeing the origin written in the scriptures of pagan practices of the Christmas tree. Verse 4, it says, they deck it with silver and with gold. Deck the halls, jingle bells. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not. So when they chop the tree down, they bring it in the house and they fasten it with nails so it could stand upright in the house. Look, they are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must not needs be born, because they cannot do gold. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also it is not in them to do good. So why was the Most High addressing this situation? The Most High was solely addressing this situation because the heathens back then were trying to integrate our people into this pagan practice. And if they would not submit to this pagan Babylonian practice while they were in the Babylonian captivity, they were put to death. So the Most High was telling them, don't be afraid of this practice. This can't do anything to you. Don't be dismayed at what the heathens or the pagans are doing. But you fast forward, hundreds of years later, and they found a way to get the people of the book to submit to what we know as Christmas. And now when you guys see that bumper sticker, keep Christ in Christmas, just know that Christ was never in Christmas. You cannot find Christ's origin with Christmas. You can't even find the day that he was born as December 25th. So when you're celebrating Christmas and you're sitting in front of the tree and you're about to open up your gifts, what God are you actually reverencing? I almost forgot to mention this. You guys got to understand something as well, too. Do you guys know that the same Christmas that you guys are following and saying that it's about Jesus Christ, do you know that Satanists, people who worship the devil, they actually celebrate Christmas too? But they don't believe in Christ. Satanists do not believe in Christ, but they celebrate Christmas. I'm going to put a picture on the screen, and I'm going to show you a Satanist family, a satanic family, right? A family that worships Satan, taking Christmas pictures. So if Satanists worship Christmas or celebrate Christmas, why are you celebrating it? It's obvious that Christmas has nothing to do with Christ. If a Satanist could worship Christmas, that must mean the origin of Christmas is way more sinister than what they are telling you. So can we say by default, Christians or modern day Christians and Satanists are one and the same? Listen, because I follow Christ. Okay, I'm gonna let you know right now, I'm a follower of Christ, and I don't follow the same customs as a Satanist. So you guys gotta actually, research what it is that you guys believe in. Because if a Satanist is celebrating the same days that Christians are celebrating, what is the difference between the celebrations? Or what is the difference between the two religions? And with that, I say, peace.